While the 2023 season is in full swing, many fans, including myself, are looking forward to 2024 as well, and especially when it comes to the schedule. The 2024 schedule will be coming out probably in the next month or two, maybe 3 months if everything gets pushed back a bit, but it's been kept mostly locked up in the vault. It's hard really to know what's coming, but there are rumors that have leaked out, and I want to talk about those today, because I think that slowly but surely, we can start piecing together what the 2024 NASCAR schedule will look like. Starting out, let's look at the surefire dates and the ones that we're pretty sure about. The ones that have been confirmed are the Daytona 500 for February 18th and the Phoenix finale for November 3rd. Meaning that based on what it's looking like, it's probably going to be a similarly structured schedule as has been the case the last 2 seasons. And that also is interesting, seeing how the Olympics are coming up in 2024, and NBC covers them on NBC and USA Network, which are the 2 networks that NASCAR will be on. And you look at the ones that they're pretty sure about too. These are the traditional dates and ones that they said if they come back, they will be on this date. The traditional dates being May 26th for the Coke 600 and September 1st for the Southern 500. I don't think NASCAR is going to mess with these kind of dates. I think they've learned their lesson when it comes to moving crown jewels off the dates they're meant to be on. And then if it comes back, the Chicago Street Course will be July 7th. And I say if just because Chicago politics are in full swing about this, and people are probably going to want more money when it comes to the political side of it. If not, I'm expecting fully that it would be Chicagoland Speedway coming back in its place. But that's something we're all going to have to find out by the end of the year, as the start of the 2024 year will be the deadline for if Chicago wants to renew or not. And while they have a contract, it's not set in stone at any point. Just look at the past at street races. Now, let's look at the rumors. First off is the return of the Brickyard 400. The Brickyard 400 for years was a dying event, but after having the Indy Road Course, many fans are really wanting it back, as they've seen maybe the other end of the fence is not really what they wanted. But with the Indy Road Course, you had a ton of issues. You had a lot of crashes, you had a lot of stuff that just honestly was kind of dumb, looking at the finish of last year especially, and many want to see the Brickyard 400 come back for some reasons that they would want, maybe tradition reasons, drivers really want it, but others are just curious to see how the next gen would be on the oval. The oval does race similar to a track like Pocono, and honestly, Pocono didn't put on that bad of a race last year, so people are saying, hey, maybe Indianapolis can. We'll never know if we don't try. The road course fatigue probably is in full swing, and NASCAR is in need of probably tapering back 1 or 2 of them. And this will be the 30-year anniversary of the first Brickyard 400 way back in 1994. While it might not be the greatest choice overall, the TV ratings would support bringing back the Brickyard, as it did bring in some pretty high numbers back in the day, and bringing it back after the hiatus since 2020 may be a way to drum up support for the late summer races for NBC's portion. Now, speaking of a race being moved to a holiday, and we're talking Easter here. North Wilkesboro is rumored to have a race be on either Sunday afternoon or Sunday night of Easter Sunday. Wilkesboro had a huge comeback in 2023, and while the numbers for the All-Star race were down compared to that of the Texas All-Star race, the attendance and the atmosphere at the track is something that was unmatched. While that doesn't necessarily make it so that it's something that's a must-watch on TV, it is something to really show, as you could probably have this on Big Fox in prime time and maybe get a bigger number for it. Plus, this would be the first points race for the track in 28 years. All the way back in 1996 was the last one, so you could probably have Fox drum up a lot of support for it, especially since it'd be the early portion of the season, since Easter's March 31st this coming year, so you might be able to maybe market all the way up to that after Daytona, similar to what they did with Bristol Dirt. Plus, with it being on a major holiday, maybe you could make some kind of tradition with it. With North Wilkesboro, though, moving to Easter, that would open up the slot for the All-Star race. And while SMI would want to control it, maybe they can lease out a track or work out an agreement. And that is where the rumor for Rockingham comes in. Yes, The Rock is rumored to come back and would be the host of the All-Star race for the first time ever. While not a short track, it definitely races like one, so many people would probably like that, and you also have that return to traditionalism that would continue from last year. Rockingham has said that they are open to anything, and they got a ton of money from the North Carolina government from the post-COVID bills with money coming out, and I don't think that the government would really give out money just to waste it on a track that never got a date. Or maybe they would. I don't know. They waste a lot. But I think that personally, this is something that is worked out in the pipeline, and I think that people talking so much about it and them trying to work as much as possible to get people to notice the track again is not something that would, one, be in vain, but two, be for no reason. With all this, though, there is the question of Bristol Dirt, and this is something that's been rumored for a couple months now, that Bristol Dirt may be gone. With North Wilkesboro and Easter and Rockingham as the All-Star race, Bristol Dirt is kind of left out there, hanging in the wind. And the rumor has been, with it being out, that there would only be one Bristol Motor Speedway date in general, as the spring race just doesn't bring in the TV viewers the way that people would really want at NASCAR, and the Dirt was more or less a gimmick they would try to drum up support with, which I will say it did somewhat work. But the night race is about the only thing they can get people consistently to watch at the track. And I think in the short term, only one Bristol date would probably mean a sellout for the night race for the first time since the late 2000s. Now, when it comes to other SMI tracks moving around, one rumor is that Sonoma might be moved to the West Coast swing. Auto Club is not going to be on the schedule next year, and while there would need to be some ISC track to jump in to replace it, maybe not replacing it on the date, but just replacing it somewhere on the schedule. And with Auto Club being off, it opens up an extra date in the West Coast swing, as I don't think NASCAR wants to waste that time out there on only two races, Las Vegas and Phoenix, which would open it up again to the 3-week stretch out there in Arizona, Nevada, and California. And not many tracks can host a February race. Weather just does not permit for it, and the ones that can, you already pretty much have in that February-March slot. Plus, it does look pretty damn good too, and beautiful out there that time of year. Now, another one that's been rumored that might be the one that replaces Auto Club for ISC, or at least ISC works on it with NASCAR, is Montreal. And having Montreal not only be back in general, but in Cup. Rumors have also come out that industry members have been told to get their passports ready for Canada as soon as next year. And while it hasn't been official by any means, and I have heard conflicting reports that some say NASCAR is right there and about to get it, and others say that they're not even close, it would be a great way to reach out to a fan base that I think is completely untapped. The Canadian fan base, which is a smaller one obviously than the American one, but a fan base that definitely has a lot of diehard NASCAR fans. And it would probably be the best international option they could get, as it at least is the closest option, and if it's moved to the end of the Fox schedule, which would fit, seeing as Fox would probably want to have more marquee races, maybe leading into the bye week, it would also mean it would be easier for the teams to get back down after the race. Now, one other rumor I've heard, and this is the one that I least believe out of all of them, is that Dover might be off the schedule. This one, again, I'm just not sure about, but it would leave another SMI opening, and I don't know which SMI track would replace it. I don't think Bristol would. Maybe it would after all of this, but maybe you also have Texas. After all, they really like that Fort Worth area and market, and only having one race out there probably is something they wouldn't want, especially seeing how, for whatever reason, a lot of people watch it on TV. But I don't know yet. I just don't buy this one just yet. Plus, you would only leave New Hampshire and Pocono as the only Northeast races. Now, one thing, though, I want to finish out on that people I don't think are paying attention to is the possibility of a Texas Motor Speedway reconfiguration. It was rumored last year, and those from iRacing have talked about it as recently as this year, and I just don't know which layout they'd go with. Personally, I would love them to go with the old layout. I thought Old Texas, from the probably, honestly, late 2000s through till they reconfigured it in the 2010s, was a pretty solid racetrack with solid racing. And I think that the next-gen car would fit perfectly with that kind of configuration compared to what they have now, which has been proven just not to have that good of racing with this car, or really any car. Or they could go the super speedway route. It's worked for Atlanta, where they've had a lot more people showing up in attendance, and the TV ratings have been higher for Atlanta since they've done this ever since 2021. So, I don't know. My brain is telling me they'll go super speedway. My heart wants them to go old mile and a half. But with that, I want to pass this on to you and ask, what do you think or want with the 2024 NASCAR schedule? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and be sure to watch the NASCAR Weekly Podcast tomorrow night on Eric Estep's channel. We'll probably be talking all about this. So, until next time, have a good one.